What's going on, everyone? Tom Goring back again with the penultimate episode of the F1 2020 My Team Career Mode for Season 2 here for the Mexican Grand Prix. This is the penultimate episode of the Season 2 Championship, and literally it couldn't be any more tighter. With a very clutch race last time. If you missed the video, go and watch it in Japan. Yeah, we managed to score 3 more points against Lewis Hamilton. 11 points now is the gap with only 2 more races to go. Literally, if I DNF and Lewis Hamilton gets 14 or more points, Lewis Hamilton is a 7-time world champion. But if he DNFs and we win the race, that's 18 points in our favour. We're not going to focus anymore on upgrades for the rest of the season. We've only got 2 more races left. We're going to be focusing only on the durability and then just trying to get enough resource points for Season 3. But before we start this video, like the video and subscribe for more F1 2020 My Team content. This season's been crazy. We're going to try and save up for some spec upgrades. But without further ado, it's time for the Mexican Grand Prix.
Welcome along to the most populous city in North America and home now to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula One calendar. So who, I wonder, will the crowd cheer on today to the top step of the podium? The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. I want to ask you about Nobuharu Matsushita. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Hamilton, Sergio Perez, and Kvyat, Leclerc, Thomas, Stroll, and Antonio Giovinazzi, De Vries, Grosjean, Lando Norris. They've taken a grid penalty. And Latifi, Ricciardo, Russell, Kevin Magnussen, and Nobuharu Matsushita. Ocon, Gasly, Albon, and Antoine Hubert.
Let's push for another podium this weekend. Good luck.
To make this race a little bit more difficult for me, I decided to take one last grid penalty. I'm hoping that with these durability upgrades that we shouldn't take any more durability or grid penalties for the final race in Brazil. But literally it's all or nothing in this race. This is a very critical race in the World Championship. Me and Lewis Hamilton have been battling along with Daniel Ricciardo, but Daniel has just started to fall back. Like at the beginning of the season, Daniel Ricciardo felt, you know, he had a good car and he was a championship contender, but as the second half of the season progressed, we've just caught up to the Red Bulls and we've just distanced ourselves against them. And plus, they haven't had any good races in the last 5 or 6. So today could be a very big knockout punch for the World Championship against Lewis Hamilton if we finish well today. P8, not really the worst starting place that you want to be on this track. If we can get some slipstream, obviously the run down to 10-1 is very long, so Obviously, I haven't went for a low setup, but anyway, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Mexican Grand Prix. We've had a decent start there against Charles Leclerc. Also, Perez as well hasn't had a good start. Lance Stroll trying to make a couple of positions. Got Carlos Sainz right now battling against Lewis Hamilton. Danny Kvyat's going to make it 3 wide in towards turn 1. Who's going to come out in front? I think it's going to be Danny Kvyat in the Renault. Hamilton has dropped positions at the start of the race. It's 3 wide between Verstappen, Sainz and Kvyat. Hamilton down into P5. We're side by side with Sergio Perez as we run in towards turn 4. We're going to out-drag the Racing Point here. We can't break late. Perez goes down the inside of us, and also Lewis Hamilton, and that's also Charles Leclerc trying to see what he can do from 8th place on the grid. But Lewis Hamilton already has a fight in his hands, and I think Perez, yes, Perez has gotten the jump on Lewis Hamilton on the first lap. Lewis Hamilton is in under all types of pressure right now. 11 points is the gap, but if we can overtake Lewis Hamilton and maybe win the race, the championship is ours. And around, here we go, around the outside, in towards, what's it, 10, I do not know. But around the outside we go, of Lewis Hamilton, and that could be the decisive move between winning and losing the World Drivers' title. We're still behind him though. We're still behind him in the World Championship. But if we can win this race and Hamilton doesn't score, we're good. We've got a very good run on Perez here. This could be for 5th place. We've both got DRS, but we do have a better engine. We're going to go side by side, the Racing Point and our car in towards turn 1. A little bit of wheel banging there. In towards turn 1, some very epic battles going on in this race. Around the outside, can we hold it? Yes, we can. And 5th place is ours in the Mexican Grand Prix. Now I'm coming up to a battle with Danny Kvyat and Carlos Sainz. We're gaining on Carlos and Daniel. Oh, and a safety car. Another safety car in this F1 2020 My Team career mode. And the first one of this race. Whoa. But be careful not to go into the barrier there. Coming to the pit stops for the first time. I think we're going to be pitting either twice or 3 times in this race, depending on how many safety cars. Hopefully there's one. Nick De Vries is also in. We're going to go on the soft tyres. We're going to go fresh softs for this stint. I'm guessing we're going to go to lap 16. Or try to extend maybe. It's around about lap 18. Or even 20 and then box for mediums. Where are we going to come out? And we're going to come out ahead of George Russell. Nearly went into the back there of Daniel Kvyat. Come on. Who's in the lead? Verstappen. Wow. Ferrari is leading a race. And that hasn't really happened much this season. Anyway, I can't really seem to get ground on Kvyat. And let's see, so Kvyat and Matsushita are all on medium tyres. Now I'm on fresh softs here. Can we gain any form of Danny Kvyat? Probably not. Come on. We closed the gap towards towards Carlos Sainz. So the race is now with Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen. Oh! Oh, Charles Leclerc. Oh! Lewis Hamilton's out! Oh! Oh my goodness! Lewis Hamilton is out of the Mexican... Oh! Wow! Charles Leclerc loses control of his car. That has been a thing of this game. The AI lose control of the rear end once the DRS is enabled and once they have it. We've saw it so many times during this game. Wow. Giovinazzi loses a front wing. That is probably the biggest moment of this season's championship. Lewis Hamilton is out of the Mexican Grand Prix. No matter what now, if we finish inside the top 3, we're going to take the lead in the World Championship, which hasn't been done, I think, all season. I don't think we've taken the lead in the World Championship all season long. And it wasn't because of a mechanical issue, just Leclerc. That was Leclerc's fault, but wow. Anyway, we're back on the way here. This has been mental. Carlos Sainz tries to go outside of Max Verstappen. Can he do it? I don't think he can. We're going to follow Carlos Sainz as he tries to get a run on Max Verstappen. But that Ferrari, man, even though it's still bad, it's still one of the best cars in the grid. Can we get Sainz in towards 10, 4 and 5? No, we can't. But right now we do have fresh, soft tyres. Wow. Can we get Carlos Sainz because Max Verstappen is getting away? Either way, as long as we finish in the top 3, here, we should take the lead in the Drivers' Championship. But you know me, I want to win. Carlos goes defensive. We're going to go around the outside in towards turn 4. And we've got it! Around the outside into turn 4. And we're back into P2 now. And Verstappen is still in the lead. This win is on. The tyres have felt really good. I was supposed to pit in lap 18, but the tyres feel really good. I think Kvyat's going to stay on until like lap 26 or something. And Perez and Matsushita, they're all on the same strategy. We're going to go on the medium tyres, and that should easily take us to the end of this race. I always go wide that hairpin for some weird reason. Don't know why. But anyway, second pit stop of this video. We're going to go from the soft tyres all the way to fresh medium tyres to see if we're going to take the lead here. Here we go. So Kvyat takes the lead. We get jumped by Matsushita, Perez, I think Russell and Giovinazzi. Well, Gio's staying out. He was involved in that crash. De Vries as well. He hasn't had a good race at all. Anyway, away we go. Where is Verstappen? There he is. This is going to be a little bit close here between myself and Max Verstappen for the lead of the race. And we just about get the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix. Yes. Car feels now really good. I really like the medium tyres on this car. And is Matsushita in? Yes, he is. We take the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix for the first time all race. And as long as we finish first, that should give us maximum points for the final race in Brazil. As long as we finish in the top 3, that should secure us the lead in the championship. But if we win, that puts the deficit into his side. I'll tell you what, man. This pace, ever since, I mean, I'm surprised that Verstappen and Sainz all went on the harder tyres. Don't know why they did that. But ever since we were on the mediums, our pace has just been absolutely amazing. For the first time all race, we've actually dominated. Just like Vettel in 2013 and just like Hamilton in modern day. The only difference is that now Hamilton does not get no points on the most critical race of the season. Around the final sector we go. We were going to close the gap to Lewis Hamilton, but he did not finish, and now we're going to get maximum points heading into the final race of this championship. We win the Mexican Grand Prix and take the lead in the World Championship.
Awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
A nearly flawless performance here then, and a commanding victory. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium. for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
What a big moment that crash was between Leclerc, Giovinazzi and Hamilton. That could have decided the World Championship now. But now, after slowly closing the gap from 40 points to 20 and then 15 and then having that starting pretty much last in Japan to get a third place, and now the championship takes another swing but in our favour. Hamilton does not finish. Nick de Vries gets 1 point. He had a decent race, even though he started way down the field. I'm proud of him getting 1 point though, but as you can see, the gap is 15 points in the World Championship. So as long as we get 5 points, which is at 7th, 6th, I'm not sure, but if Hamilton wins, we need to get 7th or 6th. But as long as we outscore Hamilton, the championship is ours. We're not going to win the Constructors. Mercedes have already done that. But guys, like the video and subscribe for the final race in Brazil. It's going to be a cracker. I'll see you in the next video. Like the video, and goodbye.